Oh my gosh, you guys, this has been a production. I feel so loved and I feel so great to have so much support. I'm like sort of an introvert and I don't like people to fuss over me and stuff like that. But it's so nice to get those impromptu visits from family and friends and stuff like that. So I do know my dad is going to come at some point again. But my in the last video you saw my daughter and her two besties came to see about me, and it was so nice to see them because they're like my kids too. I love them so much. I really do. But more than that, I think as a parent, it is so um, awesome just to see your kids kind of create their own tribes. Hey, Evangelist Val, I am feeling like I feel and hear really good today. And I made some progress with my diagnosis, which I'm going to share with you guys about, and I'm excited to share that news. I want to share with you guys kind of how I got here, and then kind of my progress. And I've had some interruptions, so it's been crazy. You look so good. Glad to see you smiling. Absolutely. You gotta smile, girl. Sometimes I think that sometimes you do what you have to do to get to where you want to be and how you want to feel. So if you smile, that signal of smiling, helps you mentally and physically in other ways. So yeah, I'm smiling, girl, but I really do feel good today. I really do feel good today. One of my daughter's friends was like, "Okay, Mama, you got to tell us about the skincare routine." Yeah, we crack it up. So it's been cool. It's been good, but it's so nice to see that my daughter has created a real solid tribe. Her people. That's so rewarding as a parent. So that they have support. Thank you, Lisa T. Thank you. To God be the glory. I'm feeling very good today. I woke up at 7:30. I did sunrise service. I live streamed that. And yeah, it's been a good day. I'm exhausted, but it's been a good day. Waiting for my dad to come by. He said he wanted to come see me today, but I wanted to give you guys an update. So I think in the last video I had shared with you guys that I had gotten into the emergency room. There were some things they saw that made them very concerned, because a lot of times, like if you get a pinched nerve or you get a slip disc, you'll have like leg issues sometimes, but I didn't have any of that. So they're like, what has brought on this neurological sort of numbness, and you really have to be careful because it can be a significant paralysis that works its way up from your feet up to your abdomen, which I had. So the numbness started out just in the left leg, and then it moved to the right leg. Then it moved up to my abdomen, like my hips, abdomen, and when you have those kind of conditions, you have to be careful that it doesn't continue to rise because it can then rise to your lungs and interfere with your cardiac, your ability to breathe, your heart muscles, things of that nature, and you have paralysis, and they have to intubate you. You could have to be put in a coma, things of that nature. And so it was really kind of touch and go for a while. And so they decided to keep me for observation, and then you know, 10 minutes, well, not 10 minutes, but maybe about 6 hours after they brought me in, I was able to meet with a neurologist, and she said, okay, we're going to have to keep you, and register you, get you in the hospital, because we got to figure out what this is. There are some really concerning things that we're seeing. So we did a MRI where they looked at my spine, and the MRI told them that um, there was some swelling on my spine, and the swelling on my spine was sending out signals to my legs. So it was kind of that was causing the paralysis or the numbness that I felt. So it's like with my legs, I could walk, but I couldn't feel the ground. I couldn't feel, like if you touched, I wouldn't be able to feel. I had no pain in my legs, but um, because the nerves were actually, um, what happened was the immune system began to attack the nerves on my nerves and wear away the top layer of the nerve, and so that's what causes the numbness. So they have to figure out, okay, well, where is it going from there? Is it going to continue to eat away at those nerves? Those are really some serious issues. So we had to figure out what it was. And first, we thought it was this thing called, hold on, I got my names so you guys can look up these things and be aware of the symptoms for yourself, because I want everybody to be in good health. I love you guys so much. But they thought it was something called Guillain Barre syndrome, which is where your immune system attacks the top layer of those nerves and it causes paralysis that will actually overtake your body. And it is something that can be treated if it's treated like within the first 2 weeks of onset. And you'll never get over it. It's not something that can be cured, but it can be managed. And if you are treated for it within 2 weeks, then in about 9 months or so, you will regain 100% of or undo 100% of that nerve damage. If you catch it out of that 2 week window, then it could be years. It could be up to a couple of years before those cells regenerate themselves. You know what? It's my pleasure to share this. I feel like we're not supposed to experience these things in um, a silo. We have these experiences to share them with one another. So I want you guys to be informed, because I don't want the thing that really caught me about this, like I just mentioned, that 2 week window. If I literally came at the end of the 2 week window where they thought the onset was. So it's like so important that we listen to our bodies. And I'm not in a situation where I listen to my body a lot. I try to tough through it, work through it, that kind of stuff. We have, amen. Thank you, Latrice. Thank you, dear. And so we have to listen to our bodies. And I don't normally do that, but thank God I did. That's what this kind of taught me. Thank God that I'm refilling my cup. I'm making sure I'm good, right? So that we can be here to share these experiences with one another. So, this process is teaching me that. And I actually made a post about 2 weeks ago about the fact that I'm learning that lesson. And I feel like God put me in a situation where I was really able to see the payoff for that um, attitude, I guess. So, thank you guys for your prayers. Hey, if you all are tuning in after this live broadcast ends, you'll be able to see all the wonderful comments that are being left. If you scroll to the very bottom of the comment section once this posts to my page. Yeah, I still got more to do. So, and it was so funny, I was just talking about that later. So, turned out that this was not what I had, the Guillain Barre, because in order to figure out if that's what I had, we had to do a brain scan. So I had a CAT scan of my brain to see if it was that or whether it could be something else. We determined that it was not the Guillain Barre. And that was after we did an MRI. We were able to see that it wasn't the Guillain Barre. But it could have been MS, multiple sclerosis, or lupus, or some other autoimmune dysfunction. So I had to have a brain scan, and so I had the brain scan done, and it came back uneventful, which is so funny. I was joking with my doctor, like, who wants their brain to come back uneventful? So on one hand, it's, kind of funny in that regard, but on the other side, um, an uneventful brain scan means that you don't have any issues. There were no lesions on my brain. It looked clear. It looked absolutely wonderful. And so that was great. Then my other tests had come back because they did a lot of blood tests and stuff like that. And those came back. The readings were really wonderful. So now we're at a point where we're waiting for the tests for lupus, and we're waiting for the tests for one other autoimmune disease. And then there's one that my doctor thinks I may have, but it has to go to the Mayo Clinic because that's the only place that they test for that particular syndrome. So we won't know those results for another 2 weeks. But I say all that to say that this is a challenging situation, but I just, how I was telling you guys in the last video, I was so emotional. Like I had these outbursts of tears and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, not in a good place because I felt like I'm not feeling good. And I don't know, I don't feel like my doctor was doing enough my, primary through my insurance was doing enough, that things were happening fast enough. And by me coming into the emergency room, things have just happened like clockwork. I've gotten so much good information. They have been amazing here. And it's just been a true blessing to my mental health and my emotional health just going through this process. It's nice to know what it isn't, and know that you're at least on a path to figuring out what's going on with your body. So that has been absolutely amazing. So I'm at this point, I'm feeling like it's not lupus. What I have now, we've discovered, is transverse myelitis, something like that. I'll put a link to all of these things below this video so you guys can do some research on it as well, and just raise your awareness. But that's what it is. And sometimes it is associated with another autoimmune dysfunction like lupus, or this other disease that I can't pronounce, that we have to, have tested at the Mayo Clinic. So once we get those back, we'll know if this is just a one-off thing, or whether I have some other, neurological dysfunction that's kind of going on. Um, so the first step was to begin treatment. So I know earlier you guys could see my medication, my drips. So I have this, and this is where they give me my treatment for a steroid treatment I have to take for 5 days. I took it for a half hour today, and then an hour each yesterday and the day before. So I take that here, and then I did an IV fluid drip yesterday. Um, and this is my second one. The first one was here. It broke down and it was so painful. I also got all my dyes for the brain scan and for the MRI through this as well. And so it has been a journey with that process. I've had to, take medication to manage the pain, because I do have the swelling on my spine, and what happens is that it wraps around to my lungs and or my rib cage and my chest, and it causes pain there. It causes numbness below the waist. So I've been dealing with that and just taking a mild, well, not a mild, it's not morphine. It's like a step below morphine and above extra strength Tylenol, and that's helped quite a bit in terms of pain management. And then, so that's where we were yesterday. Right before I did my live earlier, I had just met with my neurologist, and the first day I came in, and they tapped my knees and my ankles to test my reflexes. The doctor was like, "This is like we're knocking on wood. We're not getting any reflex from you." So that lets you know that the paralysis is significant. And so today was the first day, we're 3 days in now, that we were able to get a reaction. Praise God, we got it on my ankles. Yes! We still don't have any reaction on my knees, but we did get a reaction on my ankles. And I had achiness in my legs and in my ankles yesterday. So I was like, I think the steroid is working, because I didn't have any pain before. So the achiness is a good sign. That feeling is coming back, and those nerves are regenerating. Yes, girl, praise Jesus. So that's going well. And then I'm still very wobbly on my legs, like I can't really stand unassisted. So I have to use this walker. I feel like an old lady. So I have to use a walker. And I need, assistance to walk. And if I'm standing straight up, I'm still wobbly. So my neurologist is going to have a physical therapist meet with me tomorrow, or two physical therapists. And so I thought I would only be here 5 days, but it will likely get extended, because her suggestion was that it is simply better to do physical therapy while you're here, because you have more opportunities to do it. And then if they discharge me, then I have to go through my primary physician at a different hospital system, and then I have to wait for those referrals to happen, and it just elongates the process. It's so amazing. I really want to research more and talk a little bit more about how convoluted our insurance system is. Like, one of the reasons that I'm so grateful to be here is that everything is just seamless, and I'm able to connect with the professionals I need to address my health issue. But if they release me and I have to go to my doctor, then I have to figure out a day, first time I can be seen at my primary care physician. Then he has to do a referral to a neurologist. Who knows when I'm going to get into that neurologist? Then he would have to do a referral to a physical therapist. Who knows when that's going to happen? And neurologists and folks who do brain surgery and those kind of professionals are in high demand, so there are fewer of them. So it's just crazy, y'all. So I'm where God wants me to be, to get this stuff resolved, and I'm just really, really happy that I'm making progress. So I'll probably be here maybe 7 days. I'm not sure. I'll know more tomorrow when I meet with the physical therapist to see how many sessions they think I need to have before I can, be released to go home and kind of be on my own, because that's a concern when you're by yourself most of the time, and you need to navigate to cook for yourself and go to the bathroom and, just do the stuff you would do at home. And usually when we're at home, we usually do more than we need to be doing anyway. So we'll work all of that out. But yeah, that's where I am. So I am feeling so blessed. I'm so grateful. I'm happy to have a diagnosis and know what it is, and seeing good results from my treatment. Yes, God is watching over me, honey. Yes, He is. Someone tell me what's wrong, please. Oh, okay. So, Rafiki, I was came in to the hospital because I have numbness. I lost the feeling in my legs from about my upper thigh down to my toes, and then it began to spread from there. On my right side, and then it transitioned to my left side over last weekend, and it progressively got worse. It rose to my hips, then to my abdomen. Y'all, I can only feel one butt cheek. And then to my lower abdomen, and then excruciating pain. So I think that should get you pretty much up to date. The rest is that you can kind of see in the course of this video. It's sad to have to receive speedy care from you having to go to the emergency room. I know. Going via primary doctor's referral will take forever. Yes, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And so I'm just happy. And again, some of this stuff is time sensitive. Like, if I truly had the Guillain Barre syndrome, I need to catch that within 2 weeks. There would be no way I would catch that in 2 weeks. So my health would have been compromised for a much longer period of time. With the diagnosis I have now, I'm taking a steroid. I'll do the 5 treatments, and then they're going to taper me off with a lower dosage steroid after the 5 treatments are over, and then I should be have 100% restoration of my nerves in hopefully about 6 weeks to 2 months. So you guys, please do. Oh, thank you, Sister Iris. Thank you, Lakia. I really appreciate your prayers. Please do remember me. I always will remember you guys as well. We got to be praying for each other. But again, I appreciate your messages of encouragement, and I appreciate, just all the things you guys do to envelop me with love. And I hope that on, at least a fraction of that, I am returning to you guys. I'm so grateful. Um, I'm so grateful to have you guys to be a part of my tribe, and I'm happy to be a part of yours. I told you guys yesterday, they kept asking me about my support systems. I had a social worker come in today because they like to do an assessment so they know when they are ready to release you, like what services do they need to refer you to, what kind of support system you have at home, and things of that nature. And I'm like, well, I have my dad, I have, my daughter, I have some extended family, and I have my YouTube tribe of sisterhood. So I have a lot of support. So you guys are pulled into my support network, whether you like it or not. So I do really appreciate you guys. So let me show y'all this. Okay, so they brought my dinner. So when I end this, I'm going to eat my dinner, but I posted a picture of what they served me like the first night. Like, hospital food has had a major come up. I haven't been in a hospital in years. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you guys see this? This is like roast potatoes, roasted squash and zucchini, mushroom, tomato. I mean, they are doing it big. I didn't know they were eating like this in the hospital. Oh, it's amazing. It's so funny because when my daughter and her friends left, they were like, okay, mama. Girl, they had pork belly the first night I was here. I'm like, what? They had pork belly with, oh my goodness, sweet potato, mashed sweet potatoes. It was so good, y'all. Like, seriously, this is nice. And because I have the gluten intolerance, it's nice because it does incorporate foods that I can eat. For dessert, I'm doing fruit. Please keep on posting on what's happening because what you share will certainly help your viewers who may be suffering but are ignoring symptoms. That's right. And that's exactly why I'm doing this because, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And so often we just file away little pains and aches that we have um, and we don't take care of them. Like I was telling you guys yesterday, I had that sensitivity from the ulcers in my eye. That first ulcer, I got that over a month ago. Eric and I were traveling, and one of the days, I had like my eye was just like bloodshot red, and it was very sensitive. And all I did was I went and got some Visine, and I'm like, oh, it just need a little Visine. That ain't normal for your your eye to have that level of sensitivity, and you should just go get seen. Just get seen. And it turned out if I had gone a month ago, I don't think I would have developed that second ulcer. I really don't. And I almost wonder because this, is initiated, like part of it is the immune system attacking the nerves. And I'm wondering if my immune system over that period of time recognized that I had that ulcer and was trying to battle, the ulcer because that's what our immune system does. But it did that for such a long period of time. I wonder if that somehow facilitated this whole thing. I don't know, but I shouldn't have ignored it. So, I want to share this information because I want y'all to be, wait, remember the color purple? When Oprah's character was at the table and she was like, don't be like me, Miss Sealy. Don't do like me, y'all. I'm telling you, if you have an ache, something ain't right, it's out of the ordinary, make that appointment. Go have it looked at. If it's nothing, then wonderful. You have, assurance in knowing that it is nothing, but it could be something else and it could blow up and cause other health issues. One of the nurses was telling me earlier about how important it is with breast cancer that you catch it in like phase 1 or 2 because once you get to 3 and 4, especially 4, it's much more difficult to fight, but it is definitely manageable at 1 or 2. But if you're not going and having those tests, if you're not checking your body, if you're not, being reactive and responsive, you can't catch it in, stage 1 or 2. So we really do have to listen to our bodies. And as women, we put everything else on the back burner. For me, it's work. For me, it's I've been running my own mentoring program for girls for a number of years. It could be family. I put everybody else in front of me, but I can't be here to do those things or to give to them if I'm not taking care of myself. So what kind of sense does that make? So I'm going to, definitely continue to do a better job of that. And I hope that you all will make that commitment with me. You know what I'm saying? So I love that you can still laugh in the face of adversity. Love you. Yes. Well, you got to. You got to. Because those little things, first of all, it really um, sends a nice sort of message to others. Like, even in this, I'm trying to send messages to others, like my daughter and her friends. I wanted to be able to be present, with them. And I'm glad that I'm in such good spirits today because they can walk away feeling good. But it also makes me feel good. I don't want to be sick and making other people feel down and, sad. And My daughter came in here just in tears, y'all, the night I was admitted into the emergency room. I mean, and I know that it is shocking and stunning for her. It really took me back to when I went and saw my mom in the emergency room when she had her last bout with cancer. And it's hard, it's devastating because your moms, you know, there are everything. There are super women, and to see them vulnerable and in a situation like that, you know, it's hard. So I don't want to see her like that. And it's so weird because even though we're the ones who are sick, we still feel this responsibility for the feelings of others and not wanting to cause pain or hurt. So even with my dad, y'all, I didn't tell my dad I was in here until like a day and a half after I was in, because I just didn't want him to go through the stress and the hurt of that. And so it's just hard, but baby steps, right? I'm here, I'm taking care of myself, I'm on a path to recovery. So God is good and He's working it out. And I have you all to be here with me, and, you know, such great other local support. Let me show you guys what Eric sent me. It's so beautiful. He sent me these beautiful flowers. Aren't they gorgeous? They are absolutely gorgeous. I have some canna lilies in here, and it looks like some lavender and roses, carnations, and another flower I don't recognize. So that is wonderful, and that's definitely helping it be a little more cheerful around here. But, you know, we want people, we don't want to bring them down and make them sad. So it's just a hard balance. But if you guys take in anything that I'm, you know, sharing around your healthcare and, you know, being better informed around some of these symptoms that we might brush off, then my job is done. If that helps at least one of you. And if you could share that with someone else, please do. You know, we have to look out for each other. All right. So I'm going to eat my dinner. But I wanted to come back because I know I've been trying to get through to this whole update, completing this update for a couple of videos right now. Thank you. Oh, thank you. That purple, yes, girl, it's beautiful. They're purple and white flowers, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. He did a good job. Um, but yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being there. Thank you guys for your support and love. Could not do this without you. You know, we have our low valley moments, and it's okay because we know a mountaintop moment is going to come after it. So if we can just hang in there, we know that, you know, God is going to work it out. So I love you guys. I'm going to eat. And I'll give you guys another update maybe tomorrow since I'll be here. I'll share with you guys some of the skincare stuff you were talking about. Y'all was like, what's the skincare going on? What's going on with the skincare? So I'll show you the little bag Miora packed for me because it has some of the stuff I just use to keep my skin clean and fresh. And it's imperative when you're in an environment that kind of isn't your own, and you have physical limitations. So maybe that'll be, you know, of help. So thank you guys. Love you. And I will be looking for your comments. I'll be reading those once this live stream ends. Thank you for joining me. Again, I love you and I thank you guys so much. All right. Bye bye.